Help support our coverage using Blueberry, the community that gives creators the ability to make money, get detailed audience measurements, and host their audio and video. Get 30 days to try out the service using promo code BLUBRRY004.
Well, we have our next guest here. Hello.
Hello.
Long time no see.
I know, it's been forever.
Yeah, I've been on the air for 2.5 hours.
So I haven't seen you in 2.5 hours. No, I saw you downstairs. I was watching.
Fair enough. For those who don't know who you are, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am Brandy Jackson, and I am the CEO of Scoutlier.com, and I'm super excited to be here today.
Tell people about Scoutlier.
So Scoutlier is really kind of a gift of a bunch of teachers working together with researchers to create a better educational platform to design innovative learning.
And it's a really robust platform. I've seen you use it for a number of very divergent things.
Oh, for sure. So I think what's most interesting about what we've done with this platform is it was originally started by data scientists, and they were looking at how can you train someone to do healthcare from far away, like almost telehealth in the past. And so as we started building out this program, I was like, teachers need to be able to see what's going wrong with students so we can help them be successful faster. And once we were able to scaffold learning like that and give teachers that capability within the Scoutlier platform, and then now that AI has existed, we realized that we could actually teach anything, especially really impactful hands-on learning, which is kind of why we came here.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, we've mentioned Brandy on several occasions over the last 2 days. She's kind of been heading up the downstairs part of our broadcast. We have a lot that goes on downstairs.
There's so much going on, and I think what people don't think about when we talk about education is that we're actually training the people that are going to work in every career field, and they're going to be the people that become creators of all of these objects. And so a lot of times teachers are like, well, I'm just teaching English, I'm just teaching social studies, I'm teaching history. I'm like, no, you're teaching innovators to become people that solve problems. Mm-hmm. So when we came to CES a couple years ago with you, I started walking around, and I realized when we're at EdTech conference, we only see a tool specifically designed for a teacher. Here, I see tools designed for solving problems. Mm-hmm. And that's the way we want education to change.
Right.
We want education to become so innovative that we look at problems that need to be solved, and then we start working on building the skills to solve those problems.
Yeah.
One of our biggest things we're working on this year, if you've never seen anything about our company before, we're funded by research money. We're funded by the Department of Defense, Office of Naval Research and STEM, National Science Foundation, to build kids' skills in manufacturing, computer science, really rapidly evolving science skills. So when we're walking around here, this is what our kids are doing. Right. They're building robots. They're building, I'm not sure if y'all have actually had it on yet. I think they're scheduled, but they're going to come in and talk about like the aero farming and using the fog water to grow plants. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I
have not seen it show up, and I figure they'll bring it. So my guess is they're scheduled later.
Yeah, so it's really exciting to see that and see how something that is designed. So often what happens is people bring something into a classroom, and it's a toy. Uh-huh. And they say it's going to be an educational tool. So I come here and I look for consumer products that can become teacher tools.
Right. X Tool right behind you, for example.
Gosh.
Right. They were on earlier. We were talking about their thing. These are the earrings that we mentioned in that conversation that were made on the new machine.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of stuff that gets brought to teachers that is not as high quality as I really want it to be, because they realize they can charge a school more
even though it's a lower quality product.
But when you go to a consumer program, they know they've got to get a high quality product out there. And so I was really excited to see X Tool here. There's a lot of laser cutters on the market. Some that, if you know me personally or follow any of my other stuff on social media, which ones I don't use. But what I really loved about X Tool is they actually can take you through the whole entire manufacturing process.
sometimes in one small package.
Oh yeah, that is a really big thing. Being able to talk here when we walk through, because I think what I add to the team is when I'm talking to people is, okay, you think you want to sell to schools. You're going to have to meet student data privacy rules. We're going to have to talk about where did your chips get made.
Let me tell you about where all your drawbacks might be.
And let me help you before you get too far down the road, because I really like your product.
Yeah.
And I want it to be successful in
Let's
schools.
figure out how to pivot a little bit
Just
on
these
what's
tiny
going
things. And one of the things is like each one of these people are like, oh, I'm going to sell to schools. I'm like, awesome. So are you going to become a vendor at hundreds of thousands of schools? Like, that's very hard.
Yeah.
You need to find a distributor, or you need to be on Amazon.
You need to
How
be
are you going to do
partnered
that?
with somebody who
Yeah.
already is a vendor.
Well, and I think I think one of the things that some of the people we've talked to today has been, you want to bring that tool like XTool into classrooms. A teacher needs training.
Yeah.
They need to know how to bring it into the classroom, and they can do such awesome things with it. And I think people, especially educators, don't really understand how much goes on to making something, building something, designing something, and how all the things that we've taught our whole lives to our students go into building these companies. And so I think what I've really loved about being here, and why I would suggest anyone like, oh, I don't know, what's that thing in Vegas? Come, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Is watching it.
If you can.
Yeah.
It is important to note that it is not easy to get into this conference.
No, it is not, which is why I volunteer and help out.
Despite the 200,000 or so people who will be here, the CTA will give us rough numbers probably Thursday or Friday when they come on the show. But probably 180 to 200,000 people, and yet it's still not easy to get in.
No,
because think
it's
about
not.
how many people want to be here.
Yeah, because you want to see it happening. I think one of the things that I really loved is talking to some people. How did they go through this process? We've been working with the DoD on the CHIPS Act, and how do you put technology into a new device?
Yeah.
How do you program it? How do you do the software that goes around it? And then how do you market it as you go to the strategy? And so all of those are like really important skills that in Scoutlier we teach people how to do.
And doing it to try and attract here, for those who don't know, there are 3 target demos here, and it's buyers, industry analysts, and media. Being able to target those 3 are all very different, but being able to target schools is even more.
Totally different.
Unrelated to the first 3. Because you can hire, I'm going to point off camera, a great PR firm. We happen to have one in the studio right this second. You can hire a great PR firm, and somebody like him can get you in front of these 3. He's not going to get you in front of schools.
No, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And the thing is that what I'm most interested in, and why I'll continue to help you out and do these programs and bring the Scoutlier team out here, is that we can help people that have really great tools. Mm-hmm. We can help put it into curriculum so teachers can use it, and we can do it in a way that it makes these really awesome innovations get to students faster. When we worked with researchers in the past, the biggest problem is they say an innovation hits the market and it takes 15 years to get into the classroom. When we do this and come to CES, that was hilarious.
Yes.
I'm trying.
I think a lawnmower just hiccuped or something next to you.
I think I just got a cut by a lawnmower. I didn't get cut. It was fine. But if an innovation comes to market, it'll take 15 years before we're training students how to use it.
Yeah.
If we're here at CES, we actually have jumped that divide by 7 years.
Yeah.
And now we're learning, and we can then teach this back to kids. So thank you for having us on.
Of course. They're still working something out. We can.
Okay.
One of the things, like from the software world, right? When we were hiring people out of USF, the thing that we noticed was the stuff that they were being taught was stuff that I had stopped doing 10 years ago.
100%.
It was technology that was, they're like, oh, I'm an expert in C++. Like, well, great.
We're not doing that anymore.
If you're heading to India to write drivers for video cards, that's going to be a big help to you.
100%.
And if you're not, chances are that's not the thing you're ever going to use in the real world. You're going to be using C# or Java or Swift outside, or JavaScript if you want to hurt yourself. Outside of that, you're probably not going to use these other languages either that have popped up to try to become popular or have fallen by the wayside. And I was in high school. I was learning COBOL and Fortran that were decades dead at that point. But that's still what the AP test was being tested on.
Exactly. And
now, it turned out in my advantage because Y2K was coming, and it was Fortran and
so
COBOL that you needed, so you could charge whatever you wanted even at 17. But
well, that's the thing is, you look at it. We recently started a partnership with ServiceNow, which is going to do some automation processes, and they're bringing a lot of AI in on top of all these companies' programs, what they're doing. And as we started working together, we started realizing, we can start bringing all these things together very rapidly. And what we have to teach kids how to do is think through a problem in an algorithm. Think through a workflow, because the language is going to change. The software you're using is going to change. The tech devices you're going to use is going to change. The problems are going to change, but you have to learn how to solve the problems. So when we come through here and we talk to hundreds of thousands of inventors, you learn how they think about solving problems. And the funny thing I see, because when we're sitting up here, we listen and we don't judge. We just kind of, sure, tell me about your product. But then you walk away from it and you're like, okay, that was so overly complex that here's 17 different ways it can break. And we start really bringing in those keep it simple strategies, simplifying things, making them secure, making sure they work, making sure they test, teaching students trademark activities, all those things that have to happen to make really good products launch. And it's just been phenomenal. And it's phenomenal to see how young innovators are. I mean, really, the innovators are all ages, but really, you walk into Eureka Park and you see how many of them are young people. And it's exciting. And I'm excited to bring back, I think so far, my phone, I've got about 75 individual interviews that we're going to pop into some curriculum around, like, this is what's being invented right now that's directly connected to what you're teaching in the classroom. So thanks for bringing us out here. We can't wait to come back and help again next year. Can't wait to connect with people that are like, hey, I really want to talk to somebody about how do we get this stuff in schools so that we're making the right decisions, because we need to get better products into schools' hands, and it takes people that work on both sides of the fence. So
for sure.
It's exciting.
Well, before you go, let people tell people how they can find out more.
So you can contact me at Brandy at Acern. Acern is the name of our company, brandy@acern.com. Our website is www.scoutlier.com. We have several products that exist. The curriculum is all free, and it's funded for educators. And if you just want to talk to us about your product and how to bring new things to market, if they're rapidly evolving science and technology, we're interested. So we'll talk again soon.
Excellent.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
The Tech Podcast Network CES 2025 coverage is executive produced by Adam Barker. Technical director is Kirk Corliss. Associate producers are Nancy Ertz, Tracy Ingram, Xerxes Goddard, Brandy Jackson, and Aviva Cram. Voiceover by Aaron Hurst. Our hosts are Marlo Anderson, Don Bain, and Scott Ertz. Studio and equipment are provided by PLUGHITZ Productions. The TPN studio executive is Todd Cochran. This has been a Tech Podcast Network production, copyright 2025.